They say modern finance runs on data, algorithms, and innovation. Strip away the screens, the jargon, the hype, and you'll find a trick older than the printing press, older than central banks, older than the word capitalism. It was born in the candlelit counting houses of medieval Italy, when gold ruled the world and the church ruled souls. A trick that turned promises into money, paper into power, belief into wealth. A trick so powerful it survived every war, every crisis, every reform meant to kill it. That same trick still drives Wall Street today. Rewind to the 14th century. Europe was exploding with trade. Merchants hauled wool, spices, silk across borders that charged tolls at every gate. Gold coins were heavy, easy to steal, impossible to move safely. So bankers in Florence, Genoa, Venice offered a fix. Deposit your gold here. We'll give you a paper note, a bill of exchange. Take it to London, redeem it for coin there. Safer, faster, genius. But here's where the magic started. The banker noticed something. Most people never came back for all their gold at once. So he kept only a tiny fraction in the vault and lent the rest out for interest. One gold coin now lived in two places at once. Once as your deposit, again as someone else's loan. Money stopped being metal. It became an idea, a shared belief written in ink. That was the birth of fractional banking, and the world has never been the same. At first, it worked like a miracle. Trade exploded. Credit lines stretched from Venice to Bruges. Families like the Medici didn't just get rich, they became kingmakers. They financed popes, crowned princes, bankrolled wars. A banker's ledger held more sway than a royal crown, because whoever controls the flow of money controls the choices of rulers. But the whole system rested on one fragile thing: confidence. As long as everyone believed the bankers still had the gold, commerce hummed. The second that faith cracked, everything froze. The first great crash hit in the mid-14th century. Florence's biggest banks, Bardi and Peruzzi, had lent massive sums to kings who couldn't pay. When England's Edward III defaulted, the dominoes fell. Depositors stormed the doors demanding gold that wasn't there. Panic ripped across Europe. Trade stopped dead. Fortunes vanished overnight. The trick had worked too well for too long, until reality demanded its bill. Yet, instead of killing the system, every collapse made it stronger. Bankers learned to hide the same sleight of hand under fresh disguises. Joint stock companies, government bonds, central banks to soak up shocks. Each era gave the old trick a new name. Eventually, the world ditched gold entirely. Money existed only because governments declared it did. Fast forward to 2008. Banks bundled garbage mortgages, sold them as safe, insured them with derivatives. The moment borrowers stopped paying, the medieval panic went global. Only digital and instant. Confidence evaporated. Trillions disappeared in days. Governments printed money, guaranteed debts, restored belief. The system lived, but the trick never died. It just evolved again. Today, the same trick hides in plain sight. Shadow banking, high-frequency trading, crypto leverage, algorithmic bets. Same principle. Create value from promises, move risk faster than anyone can see, then pray faith holds it together. They call it liquidity. Medieval bankers called it trust. Both knew the truth. When trust breaks, empires fall. Look at the numbers. Global debt now tops 3 times the entire world economy. For every real dollar earned through work, Several more exist only as claims, obligations, IOUs stacked on IOUs. Just like a Florentine banker promising gold he didn't have, today's system promises wealth that hasn't been created yet. If belief in those promises cracks, even for a moment, the ripple would circle the planet instantly. No medieval city could contain that collapse. This pattern, repeating across 7 centuries, tells us something brutal. The problem isn't just greed. It's human belief. Money has always been a story we agree to tell each other, a shared myth that works only while we keep believing. Stretch that story too far, turn it into pure imagination, and reality demands correction. The correction is never gentle. So what do we learn from a trick that refuses to die? First, wealth built on borrowed faith always hits a wall. Second, every new financial invention just hides risk, never removes it. Third, transparency, restraint, and real value beat speed and complexity every time. The old bankers knew trust was their greatest asset and their deadliest risk. Wall Street knows it too. But in a system that spans the globe, there may be no safe corner left when faith finally breaks again. So next time someone says a new app, token, or algorithm will reinvent finance, remember this story. Every revolution in money drags the same ghost from the past. A candlelit trick born in medieval Italy. The illusion that you can create wealth from nothing. That promises are as good as gold. That the future will always pay for the present. History shows exactly how that illusion ends. Panic, collapse, reform, then rebirth. We dust off the trick, give it a fresh name, and run it again. Because in the end, the world doesn't run on gold, data, or digital code. It runs on trust. And trust, once broken, is the most expensive thing on earth to replace. The Medici learned it when Florence burned. Wall Street learned it in 2008. We're still learning it today. The question isn't whether the trick will fail again. It's how much damage it will do when the next wave of belief finally shatters, and whether we'll finally choose something real over the next shiny promise. Because the oldest lesson is still the hardest. Real wealth isn't typed, printed, or promised. It's built slowly, honestly, and backed by something that can't vanish when the lights go out. If this story hit you, stay here. We dig up the hidden truths of money, power, and history every week. Subscribe, share, wake someone up. Because the past isn't dead.